For more suggestions, read A Man's Lead to Surviving Divorce, How Exactly to Cope and Maneuver On with Existence by R.L. Blackwood. Get active support and tips from additional men who've been through divorce previously. Surviving Midlife Divorce Can Be Done. Thrive After Divorce. This blogger discusses advice for keeping up shifting after your divorce. Join me partly too for my information on dealing with the challenges of experiencing so many demands on your own time as well as your emotions, and for extra tips about surviving divorce by choosing the best attorney for you personally. Divorce Lawyer's blog website. Get tips about finding a legal professional and navigating the legal procedure for divorce in this article. But as Michael's history illustrates, surviving divorce can be done. A complete guidebook to the analysis process is provided, together with tips and ideas for divorce circumstances. Another suggestion for surviving midlife-style divorce is to get some good emotional support. Going right through a divorce is a significant life change, if you're the individual who initiated the proceedings also. So this post isn't about how precisely to feel great during divorce but more a practical guide how to survive divorce for men without either losing your marbles alongside your house or falling into depression and, God forbid, becoming suicidal. Anyone going right through a divorce must get expert advice. Surviving the Breakup, How Kids and Father and Mother Cope with Divorce by Judith S. Wallerstein, Ph.D. and Joan B. Kelly, Ph.D. Women's Divorce Blog. Find out about your legal choices and get tips about managing your emotional condition after a divorce upon this blog. Excerpted from the entire Idiot's Instruction to Surviving Divorce, copyright 2002 by Bookends, LLC. They state divorce is usually expensive because it's worthwhile. Certainly, financial issues certainly are a leading reason behind divorce. I can provide a few explanations why divorce makes men even more suicidal than women both after and during a divorce. The Co-Parenting Survival Information, Letting Choose of Conflict After a Hard Divorce by Drs. Nobody shall encounter divorce quite the same manner you do. The literature about males and divorce has many important approaches for helping males handle divorce effectively. Also, the info in the lead is good in every 50 states. Divorce Without Court, Helpful Information to Mediation and Collaborative Divorce by Catherine Stoner. Step-by-step guideline for submitting for divorce in every 50 says and the District of Columbia with varieties. Your son or daughter, your divorce. If you are going right through a divorce and need advice how to describe it to your kids, turn here. In this list you will discover general advice and advice on managing your divorce process, exploring infant custody options and additional. Thrive After Divorce. The blog page because of this design shares easy to keep in mind mantras and gives ways to help divorced males and females move on. From explaining divorce to your kids to separating medical health insurance and other accounts, all varieties are had by these sites of ways to help you handle the several aspects of divorce. What you actually need, and what ought to be obtainable in most areas, is a support team that facilitates positive, constructive alternatives for your life to get away from divorce and romance and move on. Below are a few tricks for men who get this to choice, or who are forced into the situation because they go out of money. The Present-Day Woman's Divorce Guidebook. This blog page sheds light on the downsides of divorce and in addition offers resources and content articles to greatly help women get through the procedure. When the Vow Breaks, a Survival and Recovery Guidebook for Christians Facing Divorce by Joseph Nieskern. Great Conflict versus Low Conflict Divorce. The liberalization of divorce in the 1970s manufactured divorce an undeniable fact of life for some Americans. The result for you personally, divorce coaching for males, make it through the fog of divorce. The following advice are meant to become thoughts to consider when you get around the muddy waters of divorce. Crazy Period, Surviving Divorce and Creating a New Lease of Life. Abigail Trafford Harper. Perennial. Revised edition December 2, 1992, that is a typical, recognized for a lot more than 15 years as the fundamental guidebook so you can get through divorce. Some very helpful tips that times get forgotten through the years often. Make a committed action now to change your daily life and the lives of most who remain you by purchasing the Father's Right Survival Guide or one of many The Advocate plans. If you purchase and browse the Father's Rights survival information, I am going to make myself open to answer any questions you might have. Could in addition, it be that females are requesting a divorce more regularly than men, and that is area of the reason? Divorce is probably the leading stressors inside our country, and it causes guys to do stupid points, like kill themselves. So when can I get yourself a hamster? Helpful information to parenting through divorce by Anthony Wolf. Continue after divorce, practical guidelines to recovery your hurts, finding fresh perspective and managing your brand new existence by David and Lisa Frisbee. Whether you raise separated, divorced, or never married, this indispensable guide will answer your entire questions about child and custody support. McKay, Matthew, Divorce Book, a practical and compassionate guide to all or any elements of a divorce from emotional stages to sex to remarriage. New Harbinger, 1984. ISBN 0934986061. Buy this book. That is a hands-on survival lead for any man involved with negotiating for the proper to see and support raise his kids. Generation X Data. This blogger addresses divorce concerns associated with children, surviving the holiday season, training family problems and additional. Chicago divorce lawyer. While this blog page focuses on divorce media and legal information for all those in the Chicago region, it provides up divorce book assessments also, articles on deciding on a divorce and legal professional etiquette. This list contains literature for women and men who find themselves going right through a divorce. How exactly to survive the divorce process. Also to how to progress after the divorce if they become single. I'm among those Western men who've been contemplating whether I am going to divorce my Japanese wife. A few of these men have not tried to go on at night ex-wife. My own connection with divorce was among plenty of darkness and toxicity before the separation. I don't prefer a divorce, but no, I've no choice but to go with it. He can divorce me whether I'd like it or not, but I'd prefer that people own an amicable divorce with only a small amount lawyer intervention is likely. Subscribe below to really get your free Meet Mindful guideline to internet dating after divorce and considerably more fresh dating suggestions from our dating specialists. Easy. Men will shed everything in a divorce. I've never would like divorce on anyone. Unlike divorce, loss of life has finality. A useful and comprehensive guidebook for father and mother to use in working with children of most ages and levels of development. This book, obtainable in softcover, compiled by a prominent kids psychologist who is a specialist on divorce and kids, provides help with all areas of helping yourself as well as your children complete the divorce, and after divorce. Divorce is definitely a mitzvah, a practical guide to locating wholeness and holiness whenever your matrimony dies, by Rabbi Perry Netter. Kids of Divorce blog. Kids of Divorce weblog is another learning resource for parents worried about the emotional well-getting of their children throughout a divorce. The proper divorce advice from ideal professionals can save your valuable sanity and will make certain that you're dealing with your divorce the very best you can. A well-crafted, sensible and very sensitive guide to separation, children, property divorce and settlement. Divorce preparation. Which kind of divorce? At some time, couples, people that have good financial information at hand and livable budget even, must decide what sort of a divorce they need. A number of guys remarked that their Japanese wives' inclination to holiday resort to anger or violence played out a central part in resulting in divorce. Next, many males remarked that their Japanese wives' inclination to holiday resort to anger or violence enjoyed a central purpose in resulting in divorce. Seek out a pro's view. Don't only storm out the entranceway and state, "I'm gonna visit a lawyer." Go see a legal professional and decide whether you want to storm out the door then, advises Michael Cochran, a legal professional and writer of the Reserve Surviving Your Divorce, Helpful Information to Canadian Family Rules. It could take someone to 3 years for your divorce to get last, and neither you nor your partner could cope with someone to 3 extra years of tension. It could have been a while as your divorce and annulment. Check to see if you have a Catholic divorce survival guide program obtainable in your area. At some point, you should move on. Likewise, some divorced men happen to be on the rebound when the ink isn't also dry on the decree. Furthermore, to divorce mediation, The friendly divorce mediators in this network give document preparation services in order that you might have a one-stop divorce knowledge. If you are back on your own feet, you might decide you can set time or other information into helping other guys facing the issues you have already been through. If you apply for divorce, then whatever you value is yourself. New Horizons Divorce Coaching. This blogger offers resources for events and advice for growing after your divorce. I have no idea who got the theory that men were extra suicidal than ladies in a divorce, but I believe they might be wrong. A lot of women divorce men who have drug and alcohol complications. It is clear to understand why suicide is more prevalent with men than women after divorce. I believe the number one reason behind men being considerably more suicidal after a divorce is normally child support. Men can lose their house, their money, their kids and their public support throughout a divorce. A source publication describing the divorce method and the way to handle yourself and help your kids manage divorce. The Divorce Publication, a practical and compassionate information by Matthew McKay, Peter Rogers, Joan Blades, Richard Goss. Well, I assumed supporting and considering a woman to provide up divorce and marriage advice to men is approximately all I have to know. The very best divorce advice for guys is that they first of all be satisfied that every counseling options have already been exhausted before proceeding. Our divorce assistance for men always considers issues just like the division of kid and assets custody, two areas where men have emerged at a disadvantage in the negotiating process sometimes. Vicky Lansky's Divorce Reserve for Parents, Helping Your Kids Cope with Divorce and Its Own Aftermath by Vicky Lansky. Utilize this book as your lead to knowledge, understanding and self-confidence in working with the challenges you'll face during your divorce. Filled with expert techniques and recommendations, this informative publication unlocks the secrets of relatives' courts and demonstrates how to achieve the brave new world of single parenting. Kaganoff, Penny and Susan Spano. Males on Divorce, The Different Side of the Tale. Sexy X, women who recently experienced through a breakup acquire tips how to rejuvenate their sex existence here. Their requirements, in counseling and in the home, are very different and they each cope differently with divorce according to where they are in the process. Divorce is a significant life transition that may affect every aspect you will ever have. Whether you've just lately separated from your own spouse or you're an individual parent prepared to move to another relationship, you can locate a complete lot of free legal advice, therapy and dating recommendations online. Because you are contemplating divorce, it is vital that you get yourself a good understanding of everything you may experience.